Screaming, screaming over the phone. She screamed at me once in person, multiple times screaming at me over the phone. Barrages of abusive text messages, day and night, a lot of them in the middle of the night. I think you're aware. I think between 2 and 4 a.m. the barrage would start. That's what I'd wake up to. All incoherent, not really making sense, just basically someone to lash out at, you know.
Not hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you.
Reverse the roles.
I did not you. I was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you, baby.
Yeah.
Because you start.
You are such a baby. Grow up,
Because you
Johnny.
start physical fights.
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did. So I had.
Because. Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are.
Hello, all you beautiful and amazing people. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to the show. If you're new to the channel, I'm your host, Hyde, and this is Hide and Seek Media, where we talk about news, sports, politics, and so much more. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's defamation lawsuit and the crazy testimony that has come out so far. But first, I wanted to touch base on and let you guys know why I haven't been dropping videos lately. As you know, I just recently moved into a new studio. I'm still working out some of the kinks and the bugs in here. And some things have been going on with my family and work that have kind of, had to take precedent over talking about, what's going on in the news and stuff. So I've had to take care of that, but now we're back. And hopefully I'm back on track and back on schedule, making a video a week or more for you guys. So thanks for tuning in and checking out the channel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. And if you like what I'm doing here at the channel, make sure to hit that like button. But I wanted to talk about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard because the testimony that's coming out, right, doesn't reflect well on Miss Heard. Let me get a little bit more comfortable here. It doesn't reflect well on her at all.
The photograph of Mr. Depp.
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed was human fecal matter.
And from some of the videos that I've seen, the testimony that's been given, and from what I can remember in the news and all that about their relationship, I can say I kind of understand where Johnny is coming from to a certain degree. I've been in a volatile relationship like this before.
Was leaning like this in the chair, looking at her. First bottle went, then got the other bottle, shot. Takes the second bottle, which was the larger one. I'm in this position again, and my hand is on the edge of the bar, like that, leaning over, the fingers like that, and she threw the large bottle, and it made contact and shattered
myself. And I know firsthand the type of manipulative games that women like Amber Heard can play on a man. And you'll see it when we get to some of the testimony and some of the things that she said to Johnny, right? In some of their arguments and even some of their physical altercations. I'm not defending Johnny Depp. Okay, I'm saying I can kind of relate to what he went through in this relationship, because I've been through similar, experience. So having that knowledge, right, that experience of knowing the kind of mental stress and the level of depression that it can put a person in, being treated that way, I kind of understand why Johnny may have dove into the bottle or the drugs a little more so during this relationship than he may have in previous relationships with other people, or at any other time. Because when you deal with depression and stress and stuff like that, some people deal with it in different ways. And I know from a personal standpoint, when I was going through that kind of stuff, I turned to drugs and alcohol. And then when I fell into my depression, I turned to drugs and alcohol even deeper. And that could be very well what Johnny was going through in that relationship. And I'm not saying Amber wasn't going through that either. She could have definitely been going through the very same things, right? Believing she was being, mistreated by Johnny Depp. And he could very well have been doing the same things, manipulating her and verbally abusing her. As far as I know, nobody has come out and corroborated her story of physical abuse. The testimony that her assistant gave kind of shuts all that down. I mean, if she was your assistant and she was required to do all of this stuff 24 hours a day, whatever, then she's around you all the time, she would have noticed.
Did Miss Hurt ever tell you that Johnny had hit her?
No. And there was never any damage to the apartment that I witnessed. There was never any aftermath of anything ever that I ever saw.
Now, you, of course, have no personal knowledge one way or the other whether Johnny was abusive to her, correct?
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true.
And even being a disgruntled employee, right? I don't think as a woman she would have taken Johnny's side on physical abuse because she was mad at you. I mean, that's a pretty dark road to go down, right? But I'm gonna bring up a couple of different stories that I've got that talk about the testimony a little bit, and there's some excerpts and stuff that we're gonna read and kind of just go over his testimony so far and some of the drastic things that he went through in that relationship. Now, I can't say that it wasn't drastic, and I can't say that it wasn't drastic and hard for Amber Heard either, right? I don't know that wasn't the case. All I'm going off of is what the testimony has been given so far, right? So, and I'm no expert or whatever. If you're tuning in and watching my video right now, thanks. I appreciate it, right? But I'm just some, nobody sitting in a room talking to a camera. We're going to get into a couple of these stories and discuss some of the testimony being given in that trial. But before we do, I want to take the time to thank every one of you guys for watching this video, right? Every one of you that have clicked on the video and are watching so far, I appreciate it. Thank you. It is helping my channel. But if you guys like my video and you want to help support the channel, there's a bunch of ways you can do it, right? I list crypto wallets in the description. There's also a merch link in the description where you can get, cool political funny t-shirts and stuff. But the best way, the very best way you guys can help support my channel is just by clicking that share button and then sharing this video on all social media platforms, right? That's the best way you can help support my channel. The crypto wallets and the merch link, that's great. I appreciate all of that. But really what I need is you guys sharing my videos. So click that share button and share this video with all your friends. Now, let's check out this story from Fox News and read some of the testimony given in this trial. So I got this story right here from Fox News. Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, the shocking trial's wildest moments. Okay, from the infamous defecation incident to Johnny Depp testifying that Amber Heard severed his finger. Right? Some crazy, crazy shit going on in that relationship. Now, I have to tell you, like I said, I've been in a relationship like this, so I fully understand what's going on here, right? So they go on to report Johnny Depp and ex-wife Amber Heard have been squaring off in a bombshell civil trial that opened in Virginia 12 days ago, accusing each other of physical and emotional abuse. Depp, 58, is suing Heard, 36, for $50 million over a 2018 op-ed she penned for the Washington Post, alleging that she was a victim of domestic abuse. The piece did not specifically name Depp. $50 million? $50 million? Attorneys for the Pirates of the Caribbean star say her false allegations derailed his career and turned him into a pariah in Hollywood. Heard countersued for $100 million, accusing him and his former attorney of conspiring to destroy and defame her. The couple's brief marriage detonated in 2016 when Heard, sporting a bruised face, filed a restraining order in a Los Angeles courthouse as a gaggle of reporters and photographers swarmed. The divorce was finalized in 2017 with Heard receiving a whopping $7 million payout for the 15-month union. But the mutual mudslinging has continued in full force, with both actors becoming better known for their toxic marriage than their movie roles. Now, I can tell you, right, that being in a toxic marriage like that, it is stressful. It is hard. It is volatile. It gets physical. I don't know. Is what happened to Amber Heard a result of Johnny being physical? Or was he defending himself and as a result, she got hurt? Was she coming at him in an onslaught of fury arm slings or whatever, and he just, was trying to block her arms or whatever and hit her? Like, I don't know. I can't say for sure, like, how that, bruise came to be. He may have smacked her. I don't know. But, I do know that those relationships can push you to places you never thought you would go, right? That anger, no matter how well you can control it, sometimes gets the better of you. And it could be true for both of them, right? They both could have serious anger issues that need to be worked out. And because they were both that volatile, being in a relationship was just going to be toxic from the very beginning. So we don't know, right? But there's a claim here, like there's a serious claim where Amber Heard is saying that during 2015, when they were in Australia, that Johnny got drunk and, messed up on drugs and, was smacking her around and like drug her down through, like tore her nightgown off and drug her across the floor with broken bottles, and then like used a bottle to, and it's like, okay, that's pretty serious. That's pretty serious. And if that kind of act happened, and you're in a relationship that is that volatile, and it's been that volatile from the onset, right? And then it gets to that point. I won't defend any man who does that to a woman. But at the same time, it's hard for me to have compassion and sympathy for a woman who does not do anything about that in that moment. Retaliate. Or, at the very least, when you are free to get away, you go straight to the authorities and report it. But that, apparently in this case, wasn't done until after Johnny sued Amber the first time for defamation, I believe. But look, I mean, and even here in this part of the article, it says the marriage counselor, right? They went to a marriage counselor, and the marriage counselor witnessed it. Amber starting and instigating fights. Those kind of women, okay? And you heard it, right? The audio where she said, "Oh, Johnny, I barely hit you. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you with an open-handed slap." And he's like, "Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched," right? And she's like, "I didn't punch you, even though I didn't hit you with an open-handed slap, a proper open-handed slap. I didn't punch you." And he's like, "Don't tell me what feels like to get punched," right? You heard that audio. That right there, right? That in and itself, that moment, that one, I can take a lot away from that one incident in the way Johnny reacted and the way Amber reacted. Johnny reacted like, "Come on. Don't put me in that position. Don't hit me like that. You're challenging my manhood, knowing I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, knowing I can do more bodily harm to you than you could do to me. You're putting yourself in a position because you're putting yourself in that position because you know I won't do anything. So don't push it past the point of what's acceptable. As a man, I will tell you in an argument, whatever, an open-handed slap, if I deserve it, if I say something I shouldn't have said or whatever, make a comment, open-handed slap, okay, I will take that as you expressing your anger. If you ball your fist up, and no matter how you swing it at me, you punch me in the face, or you try to hammer down on me, or you just go wild and crazy and just start swinging, I don't care how you do it. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. Especially when you're doing it in anger. Okay? That's not an open-handed slap. All right? That'll hurt a hell of a lot more than an open-handed slap will. You know it. I know it. Everybody in the world knows it. So when you take it to that level, you are purposefully taking it to a level where you are trying to implement more physical pain than you know I will ever implement on you because you are a female and therefore I'm supposed to, abide by the societal rules that I cannot do that to you, but you are allowed to do it to me. Women who take advantage of that and prey upon men, who abide by it are, to me, the worst of the worst, right? Because not only are you challenging his physical state, right? You're challenging his manhood. You're saying, you're not a man if you can't take me punching you. But at the same time, let's be real for a minute. Because if you were a man, you would have been punched back. And that is where the crux of the entire thing lies, right? Is you know that if you were a man, you would get punched back. And that's why you feel comfortable enough to punch a man and not fear being punched back. Because you know if you were, you would. You would get punched back if you were a man. And so that right there, a man knows that, right? When you punch a man, he knows that you know what you're doing. He knows that you, in that moment, you are challenging his manhood. And there's nothing he can do about it because you're a woman. And he cannot turn around and punch you back. Any man walks up to another man and punches him, or any man getting into a verbal altercation with somebody and then turns around and punches him, is going to get punched back. So I kind of know how Johnny feels in that relationship. You know, you turn to the bottle, you turn to drugs and alcohol to try to drown out all of that because it constantly comes, right? It constantly comes. They never stop with it. Once they know they can push that button and keep pushing it and keep pushing it and keep pushing it and keep pushing it because you're not going to do anything about it, you're going to turn to the bottle, you're going to scream and yell, and maybe, just maybe, you'll do something physical enough where then she can turn it on you, use it against you, hold it over you forever. But the minute you mention the fact that she hit you over the face with a pan, or she severed your finger with a liquor bottle from halfway across the room because she was mad at you, you bring that up and you're not a man, right? Because you're crying over what a woman did to you. You're not a man. You just take it. That kind of mentality is more prevalent in women in today's day and age than I would like to admit. But it is. And I dealt with this 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago now. And so I understand and feel for Johnny but I have to say, I know the level of anger that can be reached in a relationship like that. So I'm not going to say that I'm defending Johnny in this video. I'm going to tell you that I understand him in this relationship. I understand his anger, frustration, his reactions, his motivations. I understand him in this moment, in this scenario. Okay. And so I kind of am drawn to this story because I've been in a toxic relationship like that. But in the end, right, for whatever pain and suffering that I went through, I learned from it and it made me a stronger person. And for whatever pain and suffering that I caused, I truly felt bad about it then and learned from those actions as well. And hopefully that has helped to make me a better man and a better husband and a better companion for my wife. So while going through that toxic relationship that I was in was rough, and it led to a lot of bad decisions in my life and a lot of roads that I may not have taken had I not chosen to be in that toxic relationship. But I did. And it led to a lot of mistakes. It led me to make a lot of bad decisions. But in the end, I was able to learn from all of those bad decisions and move forward. hopefully Johnny can learn from this bad decision and move forward. But the key thing here is when you know the relationship is toxic, get out. Get out. Because the longer you stay in it, the worse it's going to get. Okay? You got to think of it like a nuclear reactor. If you two coming together is starting that nuclear reactor to spin up faster and its temperature is starting to rise and it can't cool, you're starting to get to the point where we're looking at a meltdown. You don't stay in there until boom, it blows up, right? Like these two did. Like I did. You get out. You get out when you know it's bad. When you feel it in your gut. And that's the thing that I do a lot. That's where I get a lot of my opinions and whatever. It's from my gut feeling. I read something, I read another thing, I do my research, and then my gut tells me this seems most logical, or this is possible, or because this and this happened, these things are likely to happen. I go with my gut a lot. And in a relationship, overthinking things is a terrible way to process in a relationship. Go with your gut. Whatever your gut, your heart and your gut tells you, go with that. They're going to be right 99% of the time. Johnny or Amber, both of them, when it started to get toxic, they should have got out. But instead, they chose to stay in the relationship and continue creating a toxic environment, to the point where you had Amber secretly they were secretly recording each other. I mean, when you get to the point where you're secretly recording each other because you don't trust one another, or you're trying to get them in trouble for something, it's time to go. It's time to go, because at that point, you guys are no longer in a relationship. You're in a war against each other. You are in a cold war against each other, pretending to be nice to each other and loving each other, all the while making moves behind the scenes to try to catch each other doing something wrong, or putting somebody in a position to do something wrong so that you can catch them. I mean, it gets really nasty. So the best thing to do is just get out. Cut ties, cut bait and run, as they say, right? So hopefully we get to hear Amber's side of the story and maybe get some corroborating evidence and testimony for her side of the story, because we have heard some corroborating testimony for Johnny's side of the story already, with Amber's assistant testifying, or giving a deposition. So hopefully, we get to hear her side of the story, and then we'll get all the evidence and we'll figure out who's telling the truth, who's lying. But right now, from what I've heard, from the way Johnny describes the relationship, I have to say I've been in one like that, so it's not unheard of. And I know there are women like that out there. So there you have it. That's my opinion as to what's going on in the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case as of right now. If you have an opinion, make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Maybe give me your opinion on this video as well. And let me know if there's any things I can change or make it better for your viewing pleasure. I appreciate everything you guys are doing. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. Smash that like button, and I will catch y'all later. Peace.